Hello, welcome back to my sewing room. My name is Robyn and I do sewing and crafting tutorials. But today is Friday Sews, where we talk a little bit about sewing and a little bit about life. Wow, it's been 3 weeks since I did a Friday Sews video or any video for that matter. I just finally uploaded 2 videos the past 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. And I have a whole story to tell you about why, and I will put the story at the end of this video because I know most people are here for the sewing. So I'll get started with what I've been sewing. I just uploaded a video on Wednesday where I made a sunglass holder with a piece of scrap fabric and one little hair tie. So if you want to see how I did that, I'll put a link to that video in my description box. And then another thing I was able to sew, because I've been decluttering my sewing room and my sewing closet, and I found this really pretty pink fabric because I've been wanting to make curtains for my kitchen window, and every time I would put a different fabric up there, it just didn't go. White didn't look good because it's kind of an off-white tile, and then if I put the off-white beigey, it looked dirty, and I don't know. But while I was decluttering my sewing room, I found this beautiful pink fabric. So I'm going to insert a picture here right now of the curtain I made for my kitchen. It came out so cute and so adorable, and I just love it. So here's a picture of that. I went to Hobby Lobby and they had these buttons for 50% off. Aren't they beautiful? And they're machine washable, because I want to use these on my towels that I do for the kitchen that I sew the button on, and then it goes around the oven door, so I thought these would be really pretty to put on. These match my kitchen, so those will be beautiful on my kitchen towels holder for the oven door. And of course I found some beautiful hearts too, but these are also buttons. And they're also machine washable. And then I've just been having this desire to watercolor paint, because I do that sometimes and I just haven't done it in a while. I've been mostly sewing. I picked up this watercolor paper. These were half off. So this one was only $3. And then I got this one to take with me when I go to Texas so I can do some little watercolor painting. And this was half off. So this ended up being like $2. So I can't wait to get a chance to watercolor again. I love it. It's so relaxing. And I also bought this little black onesie for my granddaughter at Hobby Lobby, and this little black t-shirt for my grandson, because I'm going to do a Cricut project, and I'm going to insert a picture to show you what I'm going to do. Here's a picture of my son with my grandson when he was little, because my son read this book called Ready Player One, and then they turned that into a big movie called Ready Player One, and it was a really big hit, and my son just loved that movie. And so it's about playing video games and stuff like that in a virtual world. And so I did a black t-shirt for my son, and with my Cricut I put Player One right here, and then when Oliver was a baby, he was wearing the onesie with a little video game controller here, and then on the back of his onesie I put Player Two. And so now that they have a second baby, I'm going to change Oliver to be Player Two, and Isla, my little granddaughter, will be Player Three. So I thought that would be a great little photo op for my son with his 2 kids. So I can't wait to make that soon before I go to Texas. The last 3 weeks I kind of lost my Sewjo, and I will be telling you the story about that at the end of this video. But one of the things I wanted to share with you is I sometimes would do ATC cards, also known as artist trading cards. But instead of paper, I did fabric artist trading cards. And I put them in my notebook here, and these are made out of fabric. They're kind of like tiny little mini quilts, and I made them the size of baseball cards so that I can keep them in a baseball card holder here. And when I get frustrated with sewing or I can't think of anything creative to do, I'll come and make a little, just play around with my little scraps of fabric and make little artist trading cards. And this one I made years ago, and this is what inspired my Hearts of Love quilt. And I'll show you that in just a second. But by making this and playing around with it, this is what inspired, when I was playing around making this is what inspired this quilt to be made. You can see where I got the inspiration from this to do my Hearts of Love quilt. So you never know when you're creating these what might come of it, what might inspire you to do something else creative. And this one is part of that quilt too, that inspired that quilt. And with Mother's Day coming up, I made this one that says I miss you, and then a heart with Mom. Because my mom passed away in 2009. So Mother's Day is not quite the same anymore. I miss her so much. But I did that after she passed away. And these are all made out of fabric. It's just like a little mini quilt with fabric on the front, a little piece of batting, and another piece of fabric on the back. And some of these are made with cards also. And some are just fabric. Look at this. This one I did. I made it out of fabric, and then I glued it to a cardstock so I could write on the back, Starry Night. I tried to do Starry Night with my sewing machine with thread and fabric. This background and this here is fabric, and then the glittery moon and stars is metallic thread. Just wanted to share that. I'll do a more in-depth video about artist trading cards in the future. Coming soon, I will have a video up of a sewing room tour. I finally have been decluttering. I don't know if you noticed the difference in the background there. I went through every piece of fabric, every drawer, every cabinet, all my fabric, even all my scraps, and decluttered and organized. So that video should be hopefully coming up in the next week or so. So be looking for that, and I'm going to give you a tour of everything and show you how I organize my sewing room. And now, for those of you that have stayed till the end, here is my story about how I lost my Sewjo the last 3 weeks and what's been going on. Well, 3 weeks ago, I was getting ready for church. Let's see. 3 weeks ago, on April the 10th, I got up to a text that said my daughter-in-law was in the hospital, and her water broke, and she wasn't due for 3 more weeks. So she was a little early, but not too bad. So they had to do a C-section, and when they did the C-section, my granddaughter swallowed some fluid, and they took her right away to the NICU. And so my daughter-in-law and son didn't even get to hold her. They had to show her the baby, and they saw her, she was gurgling because she had taken in too much fluid, and they had to take her immediately to the NICU. And so I'm hearing all this via phone because I'm here in Florida and they're in Texas, and it's just so hard to be so far away and feel so helpless. You just want to be there. So we went to church, and after hearing that she was born, she weighed 7 pounds 2 ounces, which was great. But then when she had to go to the NICU and not even get to hold her, and then she was on this CPAP machine and a feeding tube and oxygen, and they sent me a picture, which I'll pop up some pictures here in a second. It was just devastating. All I could do was cry at church, and everybody kept coming up to me and just praying over my granddaughter and my daughter-in-law and everyone there. And but praise God, she was fine. And 2 days after she was born, they got to go home from the hospital. She was out of NICU, and all that stuff was off of her. No more CPAP or feeding tube or oxygen, and she's doing great. But that just knocked me for a loop. After being so far away, you wonder, are they really telling me everything? Is it worse than they're saying? They're not telling me, because you just don't know because you're not there. And they know how worried I get. And but praise God, she's fine. But it just kind of knocked me out for a bit, and I kind of lost my Sewjo that week, and then I started not feeling good, and so I just couldn't even sew or film. I would walk in here, and I just was totally unmotivated. I just didn't want to look at this camera or do anything. So But I finally got my Sewjo back. But I wanted to show you some pictures of my beautiful granddaughter that I've been talking about for months. She's finally here and she's healthy and well and home and doing fantastic. And here's some pictures of her. And then at home, and then I have to show you this cute little video when they brought her home to meet her big brother who's 3 years old. I have a video when he's meeting her for the very first time and she's like in my son's arms and her little fist pump comes up like this. My grandson thinks she's trying to fist bump him, so he fist bumps his little baby sister, and they got it on video. It's so cute. So I wanted to pop that little video up here right here.
Baby sister.
She's so sweet. She's so little. Yeah, good job.
He just gave her
Good job.
Wasn't that cute? Oh my gosh, I can't believe they caught that on film. So now everything's better. I'm back. I did 2 videos and I got this video coming up. Hopefully I'll get it up Friday. If not, then it'll be on Saturday. We'll see how long it takes me to edit. But thank you guys for staying till the end and listening to my story. But I'm so happy I got my Sewjo back and ready to keep filming. I just love this and sharing what I'm passionate about with all my sewing projects and art projects and craft projects coming up in the future. So if you like this video, check out this video right here. I think you'll like it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a so blessed day. Bye for now.